where you think about it all the time. It becomes a burning obsession. It becomes a burning desire. In the book, Think and Grow Rich, it talks about you need to have a burning desire for those things that you want. Make it a burning desire. A definite chief aim. You need to know exactly what you want. Be crystal clear. Be crystal what?
Clear.
Clear. You have to be crystal clear with what you want. So write it down. Put it on paper. Okay? Put it on paper. Because, and put those thoughts and those images in your mind. So like, let's say you want that new BMW that I talked about. If I were you, I would grab pictures of that BMW, put it around. I would put the pictures of what I want all over the place. On your screensaver. On your laptop. In your room. Because we get, well, the images that come into our mind, we think in pictures. If I tell you to close your eyes right now, think of an eagle, you're going to see a picture of an eagle. You're not going to see a picture of E-A-G-L-E. You're going to see a picture. We think in pictures. So what goes into your subconscious mind, the universe starts working overtime and moving people, places, and circumstances to deliver what it is that you want. So if you attract the pictures in your mind, guess what? What should you surround yourself with? Pictures of the things you want. Let's say you want to go to Fiji. How about having a picture of Fiji there? You want more money. Be specific. How much money do I want? Like, for instance, I mentioned the details of a car. I didn't say, oh, I want to have a nice car, because there's no such thing as a nice car. BMW and Mercedes don't make something called nice car. Does that make sense, guys? Yeah. Neither does Audi. Lamborghini, there's no such nice car Lamborghini. It doesn't exist, so the universe doesn't know what it's going to deliver to you. The universe says, nice car. Let me tell you something. To you, a nice car is different than to somebody in a third world country. Can we agree?
Yeah.
100%. So don't say nice car. It's very vague. You've got to be very, what? Detailed and specific. Okay, so number one is why. And then remember, be specific, have multiple ones, have short-term, mid-term, and long-term, and write down why you want to accomplish that. On or before this day, I want to be making $10,000 a month. Because by me making $10,000 a month, I'm going to be able to quit my job, and I'm going to be able to put my kids in this private school that costs this much money a year, and we're going to be able to live in this neighborhood and drive this kind of car, and everything is in detail. You see how powerful that is? Yeah. Way more powerful than just writing down what you want. Now, I also recommend you have selfish and unselfish goals. Selfish goals are the things that you want for you. Like, I want a new car or something, right? Which I don't. I've got the cars I want. But at one point I did. That would be considered my selfish goal. My unselfish goals are the ones that I want for my brothers, my mom, my son, my girlfriend. Does that make sense, guys?
Yeah.
And you want to take it one step further. You tell those special people in your life that you're doing this for, you tell them. Let's say, for instance, Bernardo's my brother. I tell him, Bernardo, you're one of my wives, and here's why I'm doing the business, bro. And I'm telling you, here's why. For sure, you will have days that you want to quit. You will have tough days. Or write this down. Tough times don't last, tough people do. Tough times don't last, tough people do. So here's the thing. When you're going through those hard times, it is way easier to give up on that car than it is to give up on your mom. Way easier to give up on those new shoes, that new bag, those new earrings than it is to give up on your son, on your dad, on your brother. So you would, for sure, there's going to be days that you're like, it's raining, man, and things aren't going the way I thought they'd be going by now, man. I don't even know if I'm wasting my time with this business. These are little tests that get put in your way. And who'd like to have a powerful testimony or something? Guess what comes? What's that word in the beginning of testimony? Test. You can't have a testimonial without a test. And you're not only going to have one, you're going to have a lot of them. Because these tests are put there to see if you want it bad enough and if you're deserving of the thing. Trust me, man. I've had plenty of tests. I've had cars repo. I thought I had a car stolen. It wasn't stolen. It was repo. We went and checked and we saw the marks that the tow truck left. My mom has a house that she put $30,000 in Victorville, Apple Valley. No, Hesperia. and lost that house, lost 30 grand. How do you think I felt when, when that was I couldn't help it? These are all tests that are happening. I was in network marketing while I was broke, and thanks to network marketing, I'm no longer broke. But I went to many tests. My test was like people wanted to meet at a restaurant or even at a Starbucks. Damn it, I don't want to meet there because I got no money. I'm gonna just get an ice water. They're free. I hated going to the restaurant and looking at the right side of the menu because that's where the prices are. One of the things that I hated the most is having to look at the right side of the menu all the damn time. Not at what I wanted, but at the right side of the menu. That was huge for me. To be able to go and not, by the way, guys, there's some more chairs right there stacked up, so feel free to, grab some, and there's some more over there. So here's the thing, guys. One of my things was to be able to go to a restaurant and not have to look at the right side of the menu. Does that make sense, guys? That in itself was a huge motivation to me. I literally used to write that down. I've got notepads of where I would write down these things. And these notepads have certain marks where they're like wet. Well, they're no longer wet, but you can tell they were wet. They're like wavy and stuff because they got wet at one point. Those were my tears. That I was so disgusted with where I was. And I said, I'm never going to be here again. I don't care how many no's I get. I'm going to go to every training. And I said, I'm going to look at people to my left and to my right and in front of me and behind me that are going to quit. They're going to fall on the way there. But I'm going to stick it out. One of my mentors told me a long time ago, he says, the trick in network marketing is to be around after the dust settles. It's like it's a big old battle. It's a big old war. There's a bunch of smoke everywhere. Everybody's getting their no's, they're getting rejected, they're having success here and there, and they're getting rejections and all this and that. It's like smoke, it's like a battle. Your job is to be around after the smoke settles. You see all the casualties, all the bodies in the ground. That's all the people that quit. He said, your job, JC, is to be around when that smoke settles. Now I'm like, damn. And I stuck it out till that smoke settled. He says, because here's the thing, man, those tests are gonna make you bulletproof. When you learn this stuff and you get to that point where you learn this stuff, man, you could go out there and be successful in any business. I literally believe I could join real estate, I could join insurance, I could join any business, or start my own business, like a training company, and make $1 million or more. For sure, I believe that. I just love this. Does that make sense? But I'm a serial entrepreneur. We have a concert business in Bakersfield. A lot of people don't know. We have a credit repair company. So this is not the only thing that I've got, but this is the only one out of those businesses that I can impact a lot of people and show what I know. Does that make sense, guys? Yeah. Can't do it with these other ones, but I can do it with this one. And I love this. This is awesome. You know what I did today? I was hanging out. I went to the pediatrician. I was hanging out with my son almost all day, working from home, doing conference calls, since 10 in the morning. When I was at the pediatrician, I was doing a conference call. Then at home, I was doing a conference call. Then me and my girl, we took our son to eat in a rainy day, right? Then we ordered some food in too. Now she's making dinner. I'm going to go home and eat some healthy dinner. Does that make sense, guys? But I couldn't do that before. I was going to these tests. So, the why. Second thing, write down what you're willing to give up. So step number 2 is you write down, what am I willing to give up? Write that down. What am I willing to give up? This is another sheet of paper. When you're doing this homework, there's another sheet of paper. Step number 2 is what are you willing to give up? So literally, write down what you're willing to give up to achieve the things above. Step number 1, which is your why. That thing that you really want. What are you willing to give up for that thing? For me personally, me and my brother Louis, we used to play, what do we used to play all the time? Chess. No. Gamble. Poker. At whose house?
Monchis.
Exactly, at Monchi's house. Yeah, there's some guy we call Monchis. It's not really the same, but you know. But we used to hang out at Monchi's house. Till what time do we used to leave that dude's house? During the week, multiple times.
3, 4 in the morning.
3, 4 in the morning. Terrible. I'm embarrassed to say it. We were broke, especially me. He wasn't as broke as I was. I was the brokest. We used to hang out at this dude's house, start playing at 8, 9 p.m., not leave till 2, 3, 4 in the morning sometimes. 4 in the morning. And depressed. Sometimes we'd be happy because we won. I'm that broke. $10 buy-in, $20 buy-in, come up with $40, sometimes $100. He's a better card player than me, so he would come up more than me more often. lot of times I was like even more depressed. Damn, that was my last $10. Now I don't even got that. And I'm going to sleep at 4 in the morning. So I know I'm not going to wake up early because I wasn't disciplined. And who caused that on me? Me. One of the things I wrote down, give up poker. And it almost happened cold turkey. I almost gave it up like all at once. So for me, that's what it was. For you, it could be something else. See, here's the thing. Some of you guys are going to have to give up a little bit of time that you spend with your family or your spouse. I recommend you have a conversation with this special person. Let them know, listen, man, I've got something that I believe in. I need you to believe in me. I need you to support me. That's what I would recommend you do. Some of you guys, maybe you got a sport. Maybe some of you guys play for a basketball league or a volleyball league. I don't know. Might be that. Like, you know what? I believe it was who was it? I forgot who it was, but they played for a softball league. They said, I'm going to give up the softball league. It's 3 times a week. Those 3 times, I got to be building my business. I have fun, and I get exercise, which I need, but I need to make money and provide a better future for my family, and softball's not going to do it for me. I'm not going to become a professional softball player, right? That person said, and it's true. Something's got to give. You've got to give in order to receive. You've got to make the sacrifices. So what is it that you got to give up? Think about it. If what you want is this big, but you're not even willing to give up this much, how are you ever going to get that? That's like playing with the lottery mentality. Well, I'll spend $1, see if I win 80 million. Good luck. You could try that, but good luck. I'd rather not take my chances. You know, Jim Rohn says, if you want the best chance to succeed, don't leave it to chance. He says, if you want the best chance to succeed, don't leave it to chance. That's a good one. So guess what? You want the best chance to succeed, become a professional. Develop the discipline. My girlfriend tagged me in a video on Facebook. You guys should see it. It's in Spanish, by the way, so if you don't speak Spanish, I'm sorry. It just happens to be in Spanish. It's a good video, right?
It's like 15 minutes long.
Really? Oh, I haven't
the
seen
whole
it.
thing on YouTube.
Okay, I'm gonna see it. It's a Japanese guy, speaks perfect Spanish. I guess he was raised in Colombia. And he talks about how Colombian people, Latin American people, mention a lot about Japanese people, how Japanese people are so smart. Oh man, you guys are so smart. You guys are so smart. And he said, but the reality is that Colombians and Latin American people are very smart. And he starts talking about the different cultures. And he says that the Japanese have a saying. And he said it in Japanese and he translated it in Spanish. But the translation was, he says, discipline will always outdo and will always defeat skill and smarts. Discipline will always defeat skills, will always defeat smarts. He says, in that culture, if somebody says, I'll be there at 7, you've got no question, no doubt that they're going to be there at 7 and not 7:01. He says, if I'm in Japan and I call one of my Japanese friends and I say, I'll be there in a second, they'll look up, they'll look around like, then you must be here right now. Because that's how disciplined they are. You don't worry about people not making an appointment or people not keeping their word. He says, one thing I noticed is what he said in Latin America, which is true. He says, they say, oh, I'm around the corner. And I'm around the corner could mean I'm just hopping in the shower. Is that true or not? Yeah. There's a lot of Latinos here. You guys know what I'm talking about. So true, man. I'm around the corner. He says, and he mentions so many things. I recommend you guys watch that video. It's in Spanish. It's on my wall. Jennifer posted it up. For those of you guys that have Jennifer as a friend, she posted it up. But that's what it talks about. And if you really think about it, it's true. So it's a discipline. It took discipline for you to come here on a rainy day, didn't it? Yeah. It takes discipline. I remember going to the trainings. I used to go to 3 meetings a week, minimum, $7 each. Trust me, I didn't have those $21 a week, $84 a month. But I came up with it, because guess what? I was like, this is the price. The guys that are up there are millionaires, or $100,000 a year earners or above. I'm going to learn from these guys, and they're telling me to show up, I'm going to show up. That's where the dust settles, where most people to your left and your right don't show up. Because people start talking. Here's one thing that you're either participating in this business: politics or production. Some of you guys, I know it because it happens in every company. Gossip. Oh man, you know what? And here's what you should ask yourself. Who am I listening to? Does that person have what I want? And if the answer is no, why in the world? Guess who's sillier? You are sillier for listening to that person that doesn't have what you want. But you think I don't know that that happens? Because we're people. People are people in any company. So this is the crop, the cream of the crop right now because you guys are here. You're either participating in politics or production. No, get away from politics and gossip in here. Some people might say, hey, David, man, why the heck they gotta charge $7 for the training, bro? Well, guess what, man? If you don't see enough value in the training, then don't pay the $7. Don't show up, bro. Stay home. Guess what? They don't charge for the opportunity meetings. Come to those. Guess what? Every other company charges for opportunity meetings. We don't. The only reason why we charge, because trust me, $7 on 1 day a week does not make a big difference. The reason why we do is because people value it more. Does that make sense, guys?
Yes.
How many of you guys think this is worth at least $7?
More.
Yeah, exactly. And if you don't, it's okay. I respect it. I don't take it personal. So if you don't, then obviously maybe this is not the right place for you. But here's one thing that I know. All I'm doing is what I went through and what my mentors taught me. Because in this business, it does not make sense for the leaders to teach you stuff that doesn't work. You guys understand? Like imagine if all of you guys were $100,000 earners. Do you guys think I'd be making a pretty penny?
Yes.
Big time. Trust me, man, I am your biggest cheerleader, dude. And I've got no ego. If you make more money than me, if you make $8,000 next week, I'm not mad at you. That makes sense, guys?
Yes.
I don't care. Because guess what? I'll still be doing all right. So, write down, what is it you're willing to give up? And it might be more than likely, it'll be more than one thing. So write that down. Okay? All right. Number three. Third part is your list. You want to make a list. Make a list of everybody that you know. Now you make a list, and here's some rules about the list. First of all, don't prejudge anybody. You put everybody on the list. Start with your cell phone. First of all, it's got to be written down, actually. First step, it has to be written down. Second step, don't prejudge anybody. Start with your cell phone. You've got a lot of contacts on your cell phone. How many of you guys got more than 100 people on your cell phone? Raise your hand. So guess how many minimum people there should be on your list? Exactly. And if people tell you make a list of 100 people, guys, don't be that guy or girl that does a minimum. Oh, they said 100, there you go, 100. Get used to doing more than you're paid to do. Be the guy that gets here earlier, leaves later. Guess what? Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, I guarantee you, they go into training earlier and they leave later. 100%. Anywhere across the board. You see the champions, they're there earlier, they leave later. They make it a habit. They develop a discipline of doing more than they're paid to do. I remember before I won a world title in karate and kickboxing, I would get there, I would spend more time at the karate school as a kid than I did in school. I would miss school, but I would never miss karate. Never. I would get there early. I couldn't pay for, my mom couldn't pay for the karate. She could pay for a little while, then she couldn't. So I used to get there and mop the floors, the mats, and clean the windows, clean the restroom, pick up all the bags. That's how I paid every day. That's how I paid for my tuition. But I had a burning desire to be a world champion. And it happened when I was 18, 17. In the year 2000. That's when it happened. Why though? Because I had a burning desire. I knew what I wanted, but guess what? I started at 10. It took 8 years. Is that a long time? Yeah. Now I had fun along the way. My first girlfriend was some girl that beat me up in karate. Real talk, remember? Daisy, yeah. I was a white belt. I was a white belt, she was a purple belt. And when I barely joined, she could beat me up, so she didn't like me. Then I got good, and she couldn't beat me up, so she became my girlfriend. It's crazy how that works, man. Like in the beginning, she's like, "Nah, you can't date you. I beat you up." And I'm like, "All right." I just trained hard. Then she couldn't beat me up, and I started getting really good. I won first place in my first karate tournament. My brother won first place in his first karate tournament, which was my second. I got third in that one. He was actually better than me. He just didn't stick it out. And so we kept going. Eventually, long story short, that ended up being she was like 12, I was 13 or something. So, anyways, I always get off subject. The point is that how in the world did I get into that story? Where was I?
Burning desire.
Burning desire. Oh, Mobby. So, I mean, I paid the price, that's how I paid the price. I paid the price by, you know what, I can't pay for karate, so I'm gonna mop the floors and do what I have to do. Why? Because I know what is it that I want. So anyways, guys, going back to the training, making a list. Don't prejudge anybody. You put everybody on the list, okay? That's simple. It's gotta be written down. Don't say, here's my cell phone. It's not in your cell phone. Your list needs to be a list. It's gotta be written down, old school. Okay, here's for a couple reasons. As you're writing the names and numbers down, it serves as a memory jogger. Sergio's brother does Herbalife. Sergio's mom sells Mary Kay, whatever the case may be. And you might put Sergio's mom. Even if you don't got her number, you might not even know her name. Who cares? You can find it at that point. Does that make sense, guys? Sergio's a memory jogger. Write down their names. Not only that, when you have a list, you can write notes. Like, let's say, for instance, I call Louis, and Louis is out of town. Hey, man, I'm out of town. I'll be back in a couple days. I'll be back on Friday. Write down CB Friday. Does that make sense? Then I'm always going through my notes. Or let's say he says, oh, you know what, man? You know what? Right now it's not a good time. We had to take my daughter to, to the hospital because she was, we thought she might have a cold or something. Whatever. I write that down. When I follow up with him, I bring that up because the notes are there. I put little dates. 12/2, right? December 2nd. Here's what he said. Brief notes. When I call him back, hey, bro, how's your daughter? Then the prospect feels like a person, like you care about him. Oh, thank you, man. No, you know what? She was fine. It wasn't a big deal. Thanks for asking. Hey, no problem, man. Family's very important. Family comes first. Then I proceed to talk about my conversation, the reason why I'm calling them. But you want to act like a professional. That's what a professional would do. Does that make sense? When I sold real estate, I took about a 4-year break to do real estate. We used to have a contact manager.